Hello, 7th and 8th grade students who are in my painting class. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I told myself I was not going to say that. Oh God, it's already getting cringy. Okay, anyways, I'm making this video because I wanted to go over what I gave you in the bag. Some of you maybe came into the school, or your parents or guardians, whoever came to pick up a bag with art supplies in it. Some of you could have had them dropped off at your house. I'm hoping everyone was able to get those. If not, then you're going to have to probably email me and we're going to figure out what you're going to do. But I just wanted to go over, that I saw someone. I just want to go over what is in there. Okay, so to start, some of the most obvious things that I think that you guys probably saw was some paint. This is watercolor paint. Some of you might know that, some of you might not know that. This is a painting class, so I got to make sure that I cover all the basis of painting. And then I gave you 4 paintbrushes. Some of them are not in the best condition. 2 of them were brand new. So this one is a really nice one. It's specifically for watercolor paints. And then the smaller one would be really good for like little details, depending on what we're going to be doing at home. And then the other 2 were just, you could use these for kind of whatever paint you have, whether it's acrylic, watercolor. They're not in the best condition, but I did want to give you guys some options, okay? If you have your own materials at home, awesome, that's fantastic. I wasn't sure what people had or what they didn't have. So if you have like acrylic paint, it should say acrylic somewhere on it, then that's awesome. It's more of like a thicker, heavier paint. We've used it in class. My 8th graders, we've used it for your self-portraits, for your 3D animals. 7th grade, you guys have used it for your 3D pinch pot animals. So acrylic paint is awesome, but it does stain clothing. It is a little bit heavier. It's a little bit thicker. So I was not able to give you guys this in the bag just because it would have been way too much for me to get all that paint kind of in a thing, and I didn't really have enough containers. So we're just going to put this on hold until we get into the classroom. And then some other materials that you might have at home are either like a bigger watercolor palette. Awesome, that's totally fine. If you have your own, you don't need to use mine that I gave you guys, but it's just an option. And then you might have watercolor pencils. I don't think 7th grade has used them for our GEMS project, the very first project. I don't know if we'll use these too much, just an option if you don't really have a lot of materials at home. Pretty much what you do is you use them like a normal color pencil, and then you take some water and a paintbrush and you just kind of smooth out there. It's really fun to like learn how to blend colors together. But so those are some options. And then when we're in class, we'll focus maybe on like tempera paint, which is not my favorite. Maybe some, probably not washable paint, because that's not really, that's kind of like for younger grades. And then there are tempera cakes, which some of you have seen maybe in my class. They're like these little neon circle, like hockey puck looking shapes. And they are kind of like watercolor, but they're tempera paint. All right, so that's for like the materials portion of it, like what we're actually gonna be painting with. And then for the papers, I gave you all 4 to 5 pieces. I was trying my best to count, but it was a little bit hectic and chaotic those 3 days in the school. So I gave you just like 3 regular, like 8x10, maybe it might be a little bit tall, bigger, of just regular drawing paper. It's kind of on the thicker side, but it's still like pretty thin compared to the actual watercolor paper that's in the packet. So I only was able to give you guys 1 watercolor paper, and you should be able to tell that it's a watercolor paper because it should be a little bit on the thicker, heavier side. It should have a little bit of like a slight bumpy texture to it, and so there's just one of that in like an 8x10 size. Could be a little bit bigger. I didn't really measure it before I grabbed it. And then you should have one that is a lot bigger, This might be like 18 by 10 inches or something. I'm making this up on the spot. I should know, but I, again, did not check. And there's just one of these. Depending on what we're going to do with them, you might have to cut it in half, or you could possibly use the whole thing. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't really figured out what we're going to do. And then that same size, just there's two sheets of like thinner just drawing paper. They are a little bit heavier, so you can paint on them. So those are there. And then some of you were able to get like a piece of palette paper. It's kind of like almost like a wax paper. I was short 3 or 4 of them. So those of you who have the palette paper, awesome. It's the bigger piece of paper that it feels like wax paper or parchment paper. And then if I ran out, unfortunately, I gave you just like a clear plastic sheet, just for some options. Usually when I'm at home painting with my own stuff, I just use either like the lid of, oh god, how do YouTubers do these things? Just like you can see, I use the lid of mine, or I use tinfoil, or like a piece of like saran wrap, plastic wrap, or like a styrofoam plate that has kind of like a shiny waxy texture on the surface. That's what I like to use. And then I did not give you like a cup for water, because I was assuming that everyone had at least like a mug or a cup or a bowl that you could be painting in or putting water in at home. So before I end this video, all of you are in my Google Classroom, so awesome, thank you. And I know some of you filled out the survey, which was a big help. Some of you said you had a lot of supplies and you didn't need any, but I just wanted to make sure that we all kind of had the same thing, so that's why I sent home those bags. But so technically in school, I would be seeing you twice a week for this painting class. So I'm going to be posting 2 assignments probably on Monday, and then you can have the whole week until Sunday to do the work. And then I just want to see that you either take a picture and post it to the assignment on Google, if that's a hard option. I know some people have been having a difficult time. You can email it to me. Some projects in the very beginning, like this upcoming Monday when you are probably first seeing this video, I'm going to keep one of the assignments pretty simple, just because I know everyone's still kind of getting in the flow of using an online classroom, because it's so weird and so bizarre. So yeah, so I will be posting kind of 2 projects a week, and then you'll have the whole week to do it at your own speed. I don't want this to be a stressful class for you guys. I want this to be enjoyable. And if you ever want to create things on your own and send it to me, definitely do so, because the school is still looking to kind of like share what students are doing on like the Twitter page, in the Northwood Laker. I have an Instagram that I love to post your work on, so you guys can always check that out. But yeah, like I was saying, this is supposed to be kind of like a fun, stress-free class. I know you guys are probably getting a ton of other work from your 7th and 8th grade teachers. So yeah, let me know how this works out for you guys. Let me know if you have any suggestions on what you would want to do for a project, or how I'm like giving you instructions. I personally think like a video is nice because you can see and hear trying to like what I'm getting across from you, opposed to me sending like an email or writing out an assignment on Google. Just personally, I don't think that I get my words across best in writing. But yeah, this video is almost 10 minutes long, and this is my first in-person YouTube video. So yeah, I hope you guys are not dying of how cringy I'm being. But yeah, so I'll see you guys probably in another video if this one is good enough. All right, so bye.